Hi, do you know the difference between thinking, believing, and knowing? If you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do so and that you hit the notification button so that you'll know exactly when we're uploading a new video for you. And today we're going to talk about thinking, believing, and knowing. They can work together, but not always are they orchestrated. Though nature designed us to be harmonized with all these processes, they sometimes fight against each other. Some processes are annulled, and the works. So let's talk about thinking first. Thinking is about problem solving. It's about bringing solutions. And if we think of the brain as the right side and the left side is more logical, the right side is more creative. The brain is a lot more complex than the two lobes and the two hemispheres, but there's a huge power when we connect the front and the back of the brain and the sides of the brain to bring synthesis to our thought processes. When we talk about thinking, what I believe is most important is that it's our logical processing, connecting means to ends, intentions, means, and results, and linear thinking. We need that mechanical process to assert ourselves in the world, to understand the world, to make sense of it. But it's not enough. It's necessary, but it's never sufficient to just think. And our Western culture really encourages us to think all the time and not to feel as much, right? So when we think in interaction with our feelings, it's a whole different story. So thinking is necessary. It makes us adults, it makes us mature, it makes us responsible, but it needs to walk hand in hand with more expanded aspects of our consciousness, which leads us to believing. Now, belief can be very nurturing for our lives if we believe in wonderful things, and it can be very detrimental to our lives if we believe horrible things. Belief is much more subjective. It does engage the right side of the brain a lot more. It has to do with our creative processes, and it may or may not be aligned with thinking. So I always tell people a skeptical mind is a healthy mind. A skeptical mind thinks with logic, with evidence, and with a healthy self-protection posture and attitude. It's different from being a cynic. Being skeptical is healthy. It gives the benefit of the doubt, and it allows us to digest information so that we make good choices in life. But being a cynic is when you deny everything and you stay in your thought processes without believing much, without believing anything. And that is not healthy because it does not give purpose to your life. It doesn't allow meaning to life. You will ultimately become a nihilistic person, right? So this is something I want you to think about. Belief on its own, when it's not connected to our brain power of thinking, can become fanatical. We don't question anything. We don't give the benefit of the doubt. So yes, it's important to have conviction after you've gone through a digestive process of the mind. So ideally, we believe after we think. But we don't just think. We need to believe something that transcends logical thinking. Which leads us to the third part of this reflection, which is knowing. Now, if thinking is more related to the logical aspect of our brain, and if believing is more related to the creative, subjective part of our brain, knowing comes from the heart. The heart knows. The heart knows the truth. So we can think without being aligned to the truth. We can believe without being aligned with the truth. But when we know in our hearts, we are aligned with the truth. So the most wonderful energies and the only real energies, to be honest, in the world are truth and love. Love without truth is blind. Truth without love is harsh. But when they walk hand in hand, we know with our hearts. We know and we feel. We have conviction, and we engage our thought processes in connecting our convictions with reality. So we're never fanatical, right? So what I invite you to do is to create a triad, a beautiful synthesis between thinking, believing, and knowing. Just think of a triangle or a pyramid. I'm actually going to bring one here for you so you can see what I mean. Thinking, believing, and knowing. Living from the heart. Using your brain in all its capacities, both the objective, logical, and subjective aspects of the brain, always aligned with your heart, which leads you in your sacred path. Okay? Thank you for joining us, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.